He was so dogmatic. That was like a Barney thing. Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone and welcome to our fall meeting of the Hudson River Valley Greenway. We are in the elements here, but we'll make it through. So welcome. I want to say a quick hello and go around the room and introduce ourselves. I'm Kevin Burke. I'm the chair of the Greenway Conservancy. And why don't we just go this way, starting with you, Andy, and we'll go around the room this way.
Good morning, Andy Kitzman, Director of the Greenway.
Meg Downey, Chair of the Greenway Communities Council.
Winter Aldrich, Vice Chair of the Council.
Andy, do you want to say hello?
Sorry, am I on? Andy Beers, Hudson River Valley Greenway staff.
Cody Arana, Hudson River Valley Greenway staff.
Shannon Day, Hudson River Valley Greenway staff.
Beth Campbell-Chiaro, Greenway staff. Susan Landfried, on behalf of Secretary of State Walter Mosley.
Ryan Feeney, here on behalf of Assemblyman Chris Skikas.
Jane Daniels, Conservancy.
Linda Vonderheader, Runster County, member of the Greenway Communities Council.
Thank you. And let's go in the back now.
Lauren Daisley, I'm the Communications Director at Riverkeeper, and I had the pleasure of being the Communications Director at Boscobel when Barney was the board chair, so delighted to be here and honor him.
Good morning, Carrie McCarthy with One-to-One Advisory.
Hi, I'm Melissa Sandor, also with One-to-One Advisory.
Hello, Jeanette Redden, Gipsy Commissioner.
Cordell Reeves, New York State Parks Community Affairs.
Priscilla Brentler, Executive Director of Greater Hudson Heritage Network.
Theron Atkins, Town of Montgomery Parks Department.
Anna Frumas, Town of Montgomery Parks Department.
And Kristen, do you want to identify yourself? Yeah. Hi.
Kristen Ackerman, Greenway staff.
And welcome. Yeah. And we've got some friends on Zoom too. I can't see them in front of me to say hello, but can someone? Oh. Okay. Okay, we've got Tally Bloomberg. Good morning. Skip Piscatello. Jeannie Williams. James McElhenney. Mark McGlynn, Senator Michelle Hinchy, Kelly Turturro, welcome. And I believe that's all. Did we miss anybody who came in after we started? Okay. What is that? I think that's Betsy. So, and Jennifer, our host and vice chair. All right, Betsy, welcome. We wanted to say hello and understand that you've got something to show us. We're excited to see. And Jennifer, thanks for having us here. Do you want to say a quick hello?
I'm Betsy Jacks. For those who don't know me, I was
executive director of the Thomas Cole site for 21 years. But I'm here today in a different capacity. One is vice chair of this organization that I love, and also as a full-time artist. So I've been given a minute or two just to tell you what I'm up to, because several of my paintings are on view here at Boscobel. So I believe do we have the ability to go see afterwards? Okay, great. So some of the paintings are in the visitor center and some are in the house. But Jennifer here, my colleague, has put together a really exceptional exhibition combining historic and contemporary art. So this painting, I assume most of you know, this is Thomas Cole's Oxbow, and I put it up there because the trees on the left side of the painting are frequently called framing trees, as if they just were there to frame the important stuff in the middle. But could I have the next slide? Let's see, that goes next. At any rate, I've been extracting those trees. Actually, you know what? I think that's that one slide that didn't appear for some reason. Well, yeah, we'll just stay there. That's good. So I've been extracting those trees and really blowing them up huge in some of my canvases. In other ones, I've been looking at orchard trees, like this one, which is on the property. So it's straight over there. They have some really old, wonderful orchard trees here. Just that alone is worth the visit. They're amazing, like this one. So let's see, if you go to the next slide. This is another orchard tree and my painting that resulted from it. So you can see that one in the visitor center. There are 3 paintings in there that are 6 and 7 feet tall. So you can't miss them. And next slide. So this is a tree painting that I did from the tree that's right over there. And I'll just tell you briefly what is going on here. I started seeing things in the trees, as I've noticed other people do. They come up to me all the time and say, I've been seeing this in the trees. But this is based on the myth of Apollo and Daphne, in which Apollo chases Daphne unrelentingly, and she wants nothing to do with him. And she finally realizes she's going to be caught and begs to her father Zeus to save her. And his solution is to turn her into a tree. So my kids said to me when I told them this story, "Mom, why didn't they turn Apollo into a rock?" No, it was to turn Daphne into a tree. At any rate, so I was exploring this from Daphne's point of view. And I've done a series of paintings looking at that moment when she is saved, but she loses her own body, but she's transformed into something full of life. So there's a lot to unpack there, and this is one of many. That one's on view in the house. So that's it, just a brief overview. I just want to invite you all to go see the wonderful exhibition after the meeting.
Okay, I'm calling the Communities Council meeting to order. And
I'm happy to convene the Conservancy.
Yeah. Thanks so much for coming today. I know with the weather it's a bit of a challenge, but we're very glad to have everyone here. I really want to thank Jennifer Carlquist, who is on our board and is the executive director of Boscobel, and thank you for hosting us. And I had a sneak peek last night at Betsy's work, and it's fabulous. So I want to, one thing you'll see when you go into the house afterwards, you'll see the amazing restoration work that's been done after the damage that was done unexpectedly to Boscobel, and it's really fascinating to see what they've been able to do. So I want to introduce Jennifer to talk a little bit about Boscobel.
Thank you so much, everyone. It's a delight to have you here. On behalf of my colleagues, including Amber Stickle, who's our Deputy Director, and the entire staff and board of Boscoville, welcome. We're thrilled to have you here, and the ties and connections between the Greenway and Boscoville, thankfully they started with Barney McHenry, but they don't end, and that's so true of so much of his work and his contributions, not only to Boscoville, but countless organizations across the country. That really is born out of his incredible support for decades for Lila Atchison Wallace, who was Boscoville's founding patron. And may I just have a raise of hands for those of you who've never been here before? Oh, well, welcome. We're especially glad to have you if you haven't been here before. Boscoville was originally built between 1804 and 1808, 12 miles south of here in Montrose, New York. The house was essentially dismantled, razed to make way for the VA hospital in the 1950s. That beautiful house, which for generations had been called one of the most beautiful homes in New York, was sold to a wrecker for $35 and torn down. Luckily, preservationists saw a future, even in those fragments. They gathered them together, they stored them here in garrison, in barns, in garages, until such time as this incredible site, definitely an upgrade, could be located. And it was up to Lila Wallace and the savvy of her attorney, Barney McHenry, to secure what is now a 100-plus acre site that includes a heritage apple orchard, an organic farm that grows produce for local food pantries, a meadow, which is 3 years in the cultivation, 22 acres of woodland trail, and really beautiful, beautiful vistas to teach about ecology, about the American Revolution, about the history of art in America. And so with all of these facets for these organizations, we're so grateful that that tradition not only continues, but is really being enlivened through our historic preservation project right now, coming back from the collapse from 2024. Barney was such an influential mentor to me. He hired me at Boscoville, not once but twice, first as the curator and then as the executive director. And I'll never forget him saying, Jennifer, history is like poison ivy. The more you scratch, the more you want to scratch. And we do a lot of that. That his enthusiasm for history and art really was infectious, and we hope that we continue that here too. He raised a cohort of philanthropists as well. He was a mentor to so many generations of artists like James McElhenney, of philanthropists. The majority of Boscoville's board still was tapped by Barney McHenry, was cultivated and wooed and trained through weekly visits to Lincoln Center, and those ties continue. Now we host an annual Chamber Music Festival where those musicians from Lincoln Center come up and play here every September, so mark your calendars for that. And really what we take away from Barney's legacy is something that is in full force today through this restoration and every facet of our increasingly diverse programming at Boscoville, and that's that preservation isn't so much about the past. It's about carrying what we love about the past into the future and handing it to the next generation to enjoy, to use, to wrestle with, as it suits them, as it serves them. And it's such a privilege to be in this position to do that now. So Boscoville has gone through tremendous change, tremendous I'll say catastrophe, both in terms of the physical damage. Luckily, no one was injured throughout this 17-month restoration, but also incredible economic damage that the strong foundation that Barney built has definitely been eroded due to this tragedy. So we're actively fundraising to really build that, shore that organizational strength up again so we can carry into that future. And visits like yours and the network that this organization provides to Boscoville has really helped us along. And I'm so grateful for your partnership, for the Greenway's partnership, to answer questions, to cheer us on, and really take an interest and highlight this work. And I'd be remiss if I didn't also point out Priscilla Brenler in the audience. Priscilla Brenler was such a hero in this transition. There are very few people you can call at midnight or 3 in the morning to say you've had a ceiling problem. And Priscilla really took that call. She rallied a bucket brigade of museum professionals from Connecticut, from Manhattan, all the way up to Albany, who came and without fear of personal safety in a building whose safety was not at all guaranteed, literally carried New York's treasures, carried those important objects into safety. So I want to definitely recognize her and her incredible Greater Hudson Heritage Network. Boy, have we been leaning on partners this year, and you have just literally been there since the moment the dust came, and I know you'll be there long after it settles. So thank you so much, Priscilla. All right. So I want to thank you so much for letting me talk a little bit about my connection and Boscobels to Barney and how we think that he's positioned us for this moment and really for many, many generations we hope to come. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Jennifer. Yeah, it's very difficult to sum up what Barney was, but we have the best person to do it, and that's our dear Wint Aldrich, who knew him for such a long time. And I understand that Wint has just flown in from Paris to be with us. Is that right?
And of course, the Hudson Valley is far more exciting and beautiful, even in the rain, than the City of Light. But forgive me if I seem a little sleepy because the planes were greatly delayed. Barnabas McHenry died in his Manhattan apartment on June 7th. He was 95, had been widowed for a couple of years, and incapacitated by blindness and a recent stroke. During my last visit in May, the sallies of energetic, light-hearted palaver between me and Barney's devoted, articulate caregiver, Pat Rico, elicited from the bed a steady, quiet, but pointedly ironic commentary on all that he was hearing. To the end, as I've said in a toast to him many years ago, Barney's was the iron hand within the velvet glove. He was our founding chairman, or at least chair of the council, for 30 years, until 2022, and his devotion to the cause of this valley's cultural and environmental heritage and its related economic well-being, and to advancing all of this through the work of the Greenway, was paramount in his life during those years. Unlike the rest of us, the McHenrys, strangely, were neither natives nor residents of the valley, apart from a few early married years in Riverdale. But like converts the world over, his passion for the cause and achieving success was powerful, and few have done as much as he has for our valley. Despite the more recent success of Scenic Hudson's 18-year battle to protect Storm King Mountain and the related establishment of DEC's estuary program, he knew very well that the sincere earlier efforts, the not-for-profit Hudson River Conservation Society, begun in the 1930s, Governor Rockefeller's Hudson River Valley Commission in the 1960s, DEC's Heritage Task Force for the Hudson River Valley in the 1980s, had all commanded attention while producing little toward resolving the problems generally confronting the region's threatened resources. And so it was that he cooperated closely with the efforts of Lawrence Rockefeller and Henry Diamond in 1989 to bring forward this new bipartisan, non-regulatory enterprise. With its championing by Assemblyman Hinchey and approval in law by Mario Cuomo, in early 1992 he was appointed chair, aided by the exceptionally able David Sampson as his executive director. They later welcomed Congressman Hinchey's successful establishment of the Coordinate National Heritage Area in 1996. It is perhaps revealing to learn from his sons that Barney once upon a time served as an Army basic training drill instructor and was always someone who, quote, knew how to get things done, close quote. Scott Keller's take on this is that it was demonstrated in the chairman's tenacious defense and dogged determination to keep our enterprise funded, functioning, and independent, especially at critical moments such as those following the dismissal of our two excellent first executive directors. We all know the remarkable results over the years. Among them, in this vigorous home rule valley, 283 out of 324 eligible municipalities have voted to join up, 59 in the 5 compact counties listed as compact communities. We have designated, promoted, and advised over our 100 heritage sites, established the water trail, and encouraged local land trails, and helped bring into being the ambitious Empire State Trail. We have administered a diverse and increasingly successful grants program. The annual Ramble has been a boon to visitation and public engagement. We have created a constructive partnership with what Barney called our academic arm, the Hudson River Valley Institute at Marist College. All of this was enthusiastically fostered by Barney. His leadership has set a high standard, and we are fortunate at this changing of the guard to have Meg, Kevin, and Andy in place and carrying forward the good work. One closing word. Over the years, Barney, former chief attorney for Lila Wallace and her estate, largely the ownership of the Reader's Digest, had not been able to dodge recruitment to the boards of numerous institutions, including the Metropolitan Museum, New York City Ballet, Palisades Interstate Park Commission, Boscobel, as you have just heard from Jennifer, and the Open Space Institute. At OSI, over the past 15 years, a fund in Barney's honor has been established by his friends and admirers and is regularly added to. Its purpose is to sponsor seasonal fellowships for high school and undergraduate college students in the Valley to carry out projects of their choosing in the fields of environmental justice, environmental conservation, historic preservation, or arts and tourism. Since 2007, grants totaling $400,000 have been awarded to a total of 70 individuals. It is a creative and well-deserved tribute to our late chairman, one that helps build a cadre of leaders for the Valley's future. Thank you.
I am now going to read into the record the resolution renaming the Hudson River Valley Greenway Community Grant Program as the William Barnabas McHenry Community and Compact Grant Program. Whereas the Hudson River Valley Greenway Communities Council and the Greenway Conservancy for the Hudson River Valley, Inc., were established under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Act of 1991 to preserve, enhance, and develop the world-renowned scenic, natural, historic, cultural, and recreational resources of the Hudson River Valley while supporting economic development and respecting municipal home rule. And whereas the Greenway administers the Community and Compact Grant Program, which provides essential financial support to Greenway communities and Greenway Compact communities for planning, preservation, economic development, and public access projects that advance the Greenway's 5 criteria of natural and cultural resource protection, regional planning, economic development, public access, and heritage and environmental education. And whereas William Barnabas Barney McHenry, 1929 to 2025, served for decades as a tireless advocate for the Hudson River Valley, including as chairman of the Hudson River Valley Greenway Communities Council. And whereas Mr. McHenry's vision, generosity, and ability to unite diverse partners inspire municipalities and counties, and embrace the many preservation, environmental, historic, and cultural and related groups who together safeguard the valley's abundant natural and cultural resources for future generations. And whereas it is fitting and proper that the Greenway honor Mr. McHenry's extraordinary service and enduring legacy by permanently associating his name with one of the Greenway's most impactful and community-oriented programs. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Hudson River Valley Greenway Communities Council and the Greenway Conservancy for the Hudson River Valley, Inc., acting jointly pursuant to their statutory authority under the Hudson River Valley Greenway Act of 1991 as follows. 1, renaming the program. The Hudson River Valley Greenway Community and Compact Grant Program is hereby renamed the William Barnabas McHenry Community and Compact Grant Program, which may be referred to as the McHenry Community Grant Program, effective immediately. 2, purpose unchanged. The renaming of the program shall not alter the program's purpose, eligibility requirements, funding limits, or administrative procedures, all of which shall remain as provided in existing law, regulations, and guidelines. 3, implementation. The Executive Director of the Greenway is hereby authorized and directed to update all official documents, grant guidelines, application forms, websites, and public communications to reflect this new name and to take any other actions necessary to implement this resolution. So I'd like to call now for a motion to accept this resolution. Okay, over here. We'll let Jennifer have the first, and I'll call for a motion to second it. Would you like to second it, Linda? Okay. To accept it. I call for aye. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Anyone opposed? No. Then the resolution is passed. Thank you very, very much for doing that. I'll turn it over to Kevin.
See, glasses of cider have been passed out for a morning toast to our dear Barney. I was thinking that his birthday would be coming up on Halloween, and working with him was definitely not a trick, it was a treat. And I think of the many projects that I got to see him implement and work on, he was especially toward the end of his life very animated about the Tower of Victory at Washington's headquarters in Newburgh. And this morning on the way up on the train, which we would often ride together to these meetings, I was thinking, Barney was the Tower of Victory. He was our Tower of Victory. And so I'd like to offer a toast in that spirit to Barney McHenry, the Greenway's Tower of Victory. You're here.
You're here.
To Barney. Thank you. Very good. Okay, and with that, we will get into the business part of the meeting. We have to review the agenda. I'd like to see if there are any board member comments on the agenda before we proceed. Okay. And the first thing we have to do is approve the minutes from our last meeting, which was on June 11th, 2025. Those are circulated in advance of the meeting. And if there are no comments or changes, just would like to call for a motion to accept them. Thank you. Second? Thank you so much. All in favor, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great. And now we'll formally open the Greenway Conservancy portion of the meeting. And for that, we have to turn to Andy to give us an update on the audit, which was a very involved process.
It is an involved process. So we are in the middle of our annual audit. This is something that we do every year. It's good governance for a not-for-profit and for a public benefit corporation, both of which are audited at the same time. We are wrapping up. We have the checklist items almost done, and we will be bringing a full, clean audit to the December meeting for a full vote. And more on those two organizations as we get into strategic planning, and I can talk a little bit more about the relationship at that time. So any questions about the audit? I also wanted to note this is the first time in 40 years this organization has done an audit without Scott Keller. So thank you, Scott, for your work over the years.
Next on our agenda, Beth is going to talk to us about a trail designation. So let me introduce Beth Campachero for that.
So the trail designation that is in your packets is for the Westmoreland Sanctuary Trails System. They are both a designated National Heritage Area site, and they are now the recipients of a Greenway Conservancy grant, and they are asking to designate their just over 8-mile trail system as part of the Greenway Conservancy, the Hudson River Valley Greenway Trail System.
Any questions? Okay, this is for Conservancy members only. We need a motion and a second. Okay, thanks so much.
Yeah, wait a second. I need to tell you, is this on? Yeah. I'd like to tell you a story because the new trail that's on there, Raptor Ridge, I've been on. It's lovely. When the sign was put up, the sign maker put Rapture Ridge. And then he realized, it was pointed out to him, I saw it as Rapture Ridge. It was changed at no cost to Westmoreland, but everybody who saw the sign got a good chuckle out of it.
That's a pretty good name. That's a pretty good name.
It is, yeah. So I move you accept their designation at Westmoreland.
Thank you, Jane. Betsy, you had a second? Yeah. All in favor, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great. And now I'd like to call up Cody, who's going to give us an update on the trail, the Albany Hudson Electric Trail.
If you're not familiar with me, my name is Cody Arana. I'm the regional planner with the Hudson River Valley Greenway.
We can't. Do you want to come up, Cody?
Sure, I can come up. Good morning, everybody. My name is Cody Arana, the regional planner with the Hudson River Valley Greenway. It's nice to be at Boscobel. I have never been here when it was raining. It's still beautiful. It's a different kind of beautiful. So welcome, everybody. I'm just going to give you a quick update, maybe 2 minutes on the Albany Hudson Electric Trail, which feels real weird with Andy Beers being here as a project director, but I'm happy to do it. So in August, we paved a 9.5-mile section of the Albany Hudson Electric Trail with funds that we received through the Environmental Bond Act through DEC. We received $4 million for the project, and with Andy Beers' management, we actually only spent about $2.2 million. So it was on time, so on schedule, and on budget. That has been completed. We're wrapping up some small little items like drainage and things of that sort. We have also been working with the Village of New Paltz on a feasibility study for the Springtown Bridge, which is a bridge on the Wallkill Valley Rail Trail, which is a section of the Empire State Trail. So this is a crucial bridge, a crucial link in the Empire State Trail system that has been deteriorating over the years. So we have been working with the village and helping them fund a feasibility study to get a better understanding of how we can improve the project or the bridge. Earlier this year, we released a Albany Hudson Electric Trail trail use report. It's our third one, I believe. We had about 630 users that we estimated are using the Albany Hudson Electric Trail throughout the year. I do that a lot. I forget the 1,000 part. It's a really crucial part to it. Thank you. I appreciate that. So, it can be hard to talk in front of Andy Beers because so much intuition. And we will also be putting out a trail use report for the Hudson River Valley Greenway Empire State Trail section this month. So look out for that. Stay tuned. We're also working with Parks and Trails New York to put together an economic impact study for the Empire State Trail. And so those of you that know, Andy Beers led the project for the Empire State Trail, and we finished that project in 2020, which basically involved filling in gaps, constructing trails to make a continuous statewide trail, which is now the 750-mile route that goes from Manhattan to Canada and Albany to Buffalo. So stay tuned for that project. I believe that will be released next year, and it's going to be great to put a dollar amount on that project. It's really great to see our work actually turning into something that we can brag about, and that's always fun. So that's all I have on the Albany Hudson Electric Trail update. Any questions before I sit down? Lovely.
Thank you, Cody. And now we get to give away grants, which is one of our favorite things to do. And for that, Andy, you'll walk us through.
Thank you, Kevin. So our trail grant round will be awarded today, and our Conservancy, our McHenry Communities and Compacts grants are open right now. So please take a look at those as well. We are recommending awarding $401,700 to the following communities for planning type of projects. Starting with the town of Moreau in Saratoga County, this would be $75,000 for the Nolan Road Riverside Trail Phase 2 planning project. Is there anyone from town of Moreau? It's a long haul. It's farther than I have to drive. So congratulations to them. Hudson River Valley Rail Trail Association in Ulster County for the Ford Bridge Nature Trail, awarding $19,425. Anyone from the rail trail? Okay. Town of Woodstock in Ulster County for the Woohoo Trail, $20,000, and it's spelled W-O-O-H-U, but it's an awesome name for a trail. $20,000. So anyone from Woodstock? Okay. The American Battlefield Trust in Rensselaer County for Bennington Signage Project, $2,000. Anyone from the trust? Okay. Town of Montgomery. I know two people from town of Montgomery are here. From Orange County, the Kimball Park Rail Trail, $189,000. And if you would like to say one or two very brief comments, you're welcome to, or we can move on. Please do.
First of all, thank you very much. This is long overdue for us. Like I told a few people, we're just creating a parks department, and our rail trail was definitely, we have 20 acres of unused land right next to our rail trail that we'll be able to add an additional nature trail to that. So thank you very much. We really appreciate it.
Congratulations. Town of Poughkeepsie in Dutchess County, the 2025 Sunnyside Park Improvement Woodland Path, $27,500. Anyone from town of Poughkeepsie? Okay. The rain is keeping everybody away. The Rogers Island Heritage Development Alliance in Washington County, the Rogers Island Champlain Canal Interpretive Trail Planning Project 2026. $25,000. Anyone from Rogers Island? Okay. And the Village of Schuylerville in Saratoga County, the design and planning for the Waterfront Memorial Trail and Woodland Connector Trail in historic Fort Hardy Park, $43,775. And that brings us, is anyone from here from Schuylerville? That's a surprise. They go to everything. I'll have to get on them. All right. Do we take a vote on these? Kevin takes a vote.
I'm happy to do that. So this is for all. Okay, so we're going to do the trail designation and all the grants together. This is just for, yeah, okay. Okay, just the grants. This is just for Conservancy members. Sorry, we did a motion in a second. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Cindy. A second, please. Jane, thank you. All in favor, please signal by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Great. And I think that does it for our portion of the meeting. Now, Meg, can you do the council? Yeah. Thank you.
So I'm calling the Communities Council meeting to order. One thing I want to note is that we're going to send a formal copy of the resolution about the newly named McHenry programs to Barney's son, Tom McHenry. So he'll have a copy of that. So I'd like to call Cody back up again to talk about the community and compact activity.
Hello again. So I think it's appropriate to call the McHenry Community and Compact Committee now. which we started earlier this year, right in I think about springtime. We've had about 2 or 3 meetings since then. It's largely based on forwarding the mission of the Community and Compact program, which is getting communities on board and promoting good planning. So I'm just going to go over some of the progress that the program has made this year, and I'm going to do it in meeting fashion in the results of those meetings. So just to go through it quickly, the Village of Wesley Falls we met with earlier this year. That resulted in a Greenway designation for that community in Rockland County. They specifically were motivated by earning extra points on a New York State Parks grant. We met with the town of Minnesink. That resulted in a compact community designation in June, and that was the first compact community designation since 2021. So we were quite happy about that. I think the word spreading around, Orange County heard about it, which is going to make other things happen. We met with the supervisor and consultant of the town of Galway in Saratoga County. They didn't get funded for a grant in June, but they plan to come back this round. For those of you who don't know, we have struggled to get traction and participation in the western northern part of Saratoga County. And this is in that section of Saratoga County, so we were very pleased. I told the supervisor to spread the good word of the Greenway. Earlier this year in June, right after our last June board meeting, we met with the Dutchess County Planning Board, and we presented to them. They also expressed interest in updating their compact plan. We met with the Greene County's Economic Development Office. We met and explained our program. After that, they had scheduled another meeting with us to work with the Village of Catskill to try to provide some technical assistance and give them some good ideas on how they might come in for funding for some transportation and safety improvements in the village. We've met with Albany County. They're interested in doing a compact. I don't know where we are with that at the moment, but we do have another meeting that we're going to have scheduled with them soon. We have been lucky enough to have James Gaughan, who is the Albany County representative on our board, who is a big fan of the compact community. He's been pushing it hard in Albany County, to the point I think they feel a little intimidated. We've met with Rockland County. I saw that they were updating their county comprehensive plan, so we reached out. They included us as a stakeholder on the plan. They've been a compact county since, I think, about 2011. And they are looking to update their comprehensive plan, which is also their compact plan. And they will be the first county to have an updated compact ever in the Greenway's history. So we're pretty excited about that, looking to have further conversations with them. Recently, we had the opportunity to present to the Hudson Valley Regional Council. Thanks, Carla. That was a great opportunity to be in front of all the counties in the mid to lower Hudson. Me and Dan just met with the village of Mamaroneck. I think I said that right. They actually have a couple ideas of how they want to leverage our funding. I gave them some good ideas, as well as Dan. It's interesting because communities that are on the far side, or as far as away from the Hudson River, they don't feel like they're part of the Hudson Valley. They don't feel like they're a Hudson River community. They define themselves more based on the Long Island Sound. So we just had to remind them and invigorate them that they are a Hudson River Valley community. And we're looking to help them, and there will be more to talk about soon with that. We just had a presentation this past Friday, Beth and I, at Archtober, which celebrates architecture, history, and everything that the Newburgh community has to offer. That went very well. We had conversations with a local not-for-profit who intends to push the compact idea in the city and the town of Newburgh. Those are just some of my updates for the Community and Compact Planning Program. Does anybody have any questions? Lovely.
National Heritage Area portion of the meeting, and I think the first item on our list is to get an update on the Ramble from Beth, which is our 25th annual.
Yeah, it was the 25th annual Hudson River Valley Ramble. I can't believe that it's been such a long-lasting program. I want to thank DEC's Hudson River Estuary Program for being a partner, and state parks for hosting so many events as well. We had 179 events this year, hiking, biking, paddling, historic site tours. The Greenway, we hosted 2 events. Cody and I went down to Carmel, to the Fred Dill Wildlife Sanctuary, which was co-hosted by the Cornell Cooperative Extension of Putnam County. We also had an event, Bike Around Kinderhook, which we were fortunate to stop at the James Vanderpool House, fortunate to be able to take the 8 Hut Trail to all of our locations. And we're still gathering participation numbers, but we are so grateful to all of the communities and organizations that host Ramble events, and hopefully it's going to be even bigger and better in 2026. And I want to just personally thank Cody Arana for doing so much of the organization and for taking the lead on those Greenway-led Ramble events. So thank you.
Okay, I think now Andy's going to give us an update on the situation in Washington and also present his Executive Director report.
Okay, let's get the fun one out of the way first. So, update on federal funding. I actually have good news to share. We had received half of our federal funding in June, and then the second portion of it was tied up in all of the machinations in DC. And at the final hour, literally the week prior to the deadline, we got approval for the second half of our 2025 federal funding. That's a lot of you provided letters of support that we sent on to our congressional delegation. We worked closely with the Alliance of National Heritage Areas, which is a 501c6 with a lobbying wing with the National Parks Conservation Association. We did a lot of work to raise awareness with our congressional bodies across the country for the value of the work that we do, and we were successful. So that money will carry us until this time, if not later next year. So we're in good shape right now with that. We are still waiting, as everyone else, on the resolution of the shutdown and the budget pieces moving forward. In terms of our funding for the National Heritage Area Program, we were not included in the administration's budget. However, both the House and the Senate have reinserted the Heritage Area Program back into the 2026 budget, and that's where it sits right now. And actually, I think I can note that the Senate version includes a $1.5 million increase for the program as a whole for some new heritage areas that were designated. That's very rare at this time, so very, very pleased. We also have grants that we receive on behalf of Department of Environmental Conservation. Those are not part of the Heritage Area Program, but I'll just note quickly that right now those are all secure as well. So for those of you that are aware of those grants, those are secure as well, and we're working with the Governor's Office to protect those resources as we move forward. So we're doing our best. I thank you all for your support and as we move forward through these challenging times, but it's the best that it can be right now. So thank you. Okay. Happy news. Where's Kristen? Hiding over there in the corner. So Kristen Ackerman comes to us from HUD. She was with HUD for 14 years as a finance officer in a variety of capacities. She started 3.5 weeks ago now, and has taken over as our new finance manager, and doing a great job. Has dived right into the annual audit, has dived into the DEC grants and the reporting requirements for the National Park Service, and I appreciate everything that you're doing, Kristen. Welcome. So. The second piece is that Department of Budget actually approved Kristen's position last year and they also included a second position for us for a communications and outreach manager. And I'd like to just recognize that we have just signed with Real Live Inc. Our first communications and outreach manager. Her name is Emily Levine. She'll be starting on Monday. Emily's not here, correct? She was potentially going to come today. She'll be starting on Monday. I look forward to working with her. She worked in the state, worked with the state senator's office. She worked with a county communications office. She has worked for an aquarium and is a very dynamic person, and look forward to working with her. So congratulations to her too. You all meet her next month, or 2 months. The nominations committee, and I just wanted to thank Beth and Dan and Shannon for working with me to help hire those individuals. So thank you for all the work that went into that. We had our first nominations committee meeting last month, and I'd like to thank Senator Michelle Hinchy, Jane Daniels, Bob Elliott, Meg and Kevin for their support on that committee, and Shannon for her work at the staff level to help move that committee forward. Our first action that we're taking is working to fill some vacancies that are made, appointments that are made by the majority leaders for both the Senate and the legislature. So we'll be working on those first, and then we'll be addressing another round of appointments that need to be made, as well as looking at some governance documents that will come out of our conversation this afternoon. Conference participation. I'm just going to skip over this. Suffice it to say that all of the staff are going to be very busy at conferences, including the Greenways conference next week, over the next month. So I would like to thank my staff for getting out there, being at the tables, being at the conferences. Cody and Andy Beers are presenting at the Greenways conference next week. So thank you. I appreciate your work on those. Controls over critical systems audit by the New York State Comptroller's Office. We passed that cleanly. We now are finished with that. I had mentioned that at the last board meeting. Basically, they just wanted to make sure that we were following all the procedures and protocols that the state has in place to ensure that our programs are safe. So it's a couple of very minor recommendations because you can't get away with anything. So you gotta have one little thing you find, but we had to add a character to our password list for grid grants, our grant program. That's what we had to do. So I'll take it. And then just a reminder, in a couple of minutes we are, I think, doing really well, 9:57. So